sing a happy song together, and we'll all be a happy family.
Hi, welcome back to the channel. So let's have a little quick summary of this project, since this is now working. First of all, one of the things that came up recently on another channel was if you get one of these old valve circuits, old radios or record players or anything like that, with an output transformer and a speaker like that, there's a quick and easy way of checking that the speaker and the output transformer are probably okay. And if you see here, this is the primary side, got the black and red lead there going to the primary side of the output transformer, the other side of which is attached to the speaker. So if you take a little 9-volt battery and you just tap it across there, you hear the speaker popping, and that straight away tells you that your speaker and output transformer are probably good. So just a little tip, and even though it's a step-down transformer, a 9-volt battery is plenty enough to get a crackle. And you could do the same with a 1.5-volt battery to test just the speaker, and you'll still get a crackle, but it won't damage anything. So yeah, that's just a little tip. Right, so what did we do with this project? Well, when it first arrived, the first thing I found was that this volume control couldn't move. It was immovable, and I couldn't get the knob off of there to get it out. So I mentioned in one of the earlier videos that I actually found I could get a pair of snipe nose pliers in there and a screwdriver and sort of lever this off from underneath. Now later on I had to get the whole chassis out, and that meant that this one had to come off as well, and that was more tricky to get in there. But again, I was able to get in there with tools and push the knob up from underneath to get it off. So yeah, these are so easily broken. Once they're off, I actually, with this side, I took a bit off the shaft of the pot, but this side I did take off a bit of the inside of the knob itself so that it would come off again quite easily, but it won't just fall off. So that got that done. The chassis in this came out quite easily. There's a nut there, and a nut at the bottom. So I had to disconnect the supply lines to it, the aerial, and the two leads that go to the speaker transformer. Disconnect all those, and then the whole chassis would come out complete. Obviously also have to disconnect the pot there. So yeah, there's a few wires to disconnect, but basically yeah, the whole chassis could then be taken out for the major job of replacing the valve bases. As you can see, the new ones are white ceramic, the old ones were black, so but they are screwed in, not riveted, which is great news. So there it is with all the new capacitors. So what do we do, in what order? Well, as I say, the pot was the first thing. I got that out, cleaned it up, gave it a squirt, got it freed up and put it back. That was the first thing I did. The next thing was to find somewhere powering it, and I built this power supply, and I was lucky, struck lucky for once, found this transformer which had a 17 and a 20 volt winding. I'm not using the 20 volt winding, but it also had a 70 volt winding with a tap at 40 volts, but I didn't use the tapping. I just used the 70 volts from this straight into a bridge rectifier and a capacitor, then a resistor and another capacitor. Classic pi network for the HT. It gives me about 85 volts. The 1.5 volts, because it had to be derived from a 17 volt tapping, which is even higher once you rectify it, of course. I put it for a bridge rectifier and smoothing cap, and then again a drop-in resistor, and I used a 39 ohm resistor, this one here, this rather brassy looking one, mounted on a heatsink. So that does actually drop quite a few volts before it gets to the regulator. So it takes some of the strain off the regulator, and feed the output from there into the typical 5-volt regulator, centre ground. The left pin is the input from there, and this output here, this side, comes out of 5 volts. Then I fed that with a capacitor and these dropping resistors. So I ended up with 4 47s in parallel, and then that 2.2 which I added afterwards, and they're well within their rated capacity for wattage, so there's no problem there, and that does give me about a 1.48 volts, so it's under 1.5. It's this does run hot, but it's okay. It's been running for quite a while, and you can still touch it. It's not too hot to touch, but it does get hot. So yeah, I built the power supply. I did try and trace the signal through, found the alignment was way out. So did the alignment, which I later on had to do again, but I'll come on to that. But then I found this first valve was, the valve that was in here looked like it had gone soft, and I couldn't get any signal through it. So I ordered another valve for there, and then I found that I was able to get the radio working on long wave, but not medium wave. So I thought I'd try and line it up, and I found out that I had to keep jiggling the valves around to make them make contact, and eventually they just got worse and worse until I realised there was no option but to replace those valve bases. Obviously the other thing I've done is the recap. So these little red capacitors are the ones I put in. I took the waxes out, so the red ones are replacing waxes. I found one of the dreaded Hunt's capacitors in it, which also obviously had to be changed. The one electrolytic, which is there, it was a 5, it's now a 4.7, but that's fine. Because there was actually a 47 microfarad capacitor on the smoothing down here. So yeah, that's fine. Also, of course, I had to clean out the switch. I had to take the switch out, took it apart, cleaned all the contacts on it, and got that working. There was slight bending of these plates where they're exposed, so I had to bend them back so it didn't scrape. But that's a minor thing. And while it's apart, I took the opportunity to clean under the dial plate there and straighten up this pointer a bit, because it was a bit at an angle. And so once I'd fitted these new valve bases, I found the alignment was off again. I had to do the whole alignment, so I did the IF alignment, and then I did the RF alignment, and it all came up, and it's now working. So that's a summary pretty much of what I've done so far, but I will go on in a minute about cleaning it. Which is the only thing I haven't really done. But I'll just show it working now.
Tackling away as she scribbled and just really, I sort of imagine this being quite a cathartic book for her, and it may be completely wrong, but she sort of exercised.
At all uncomfortable with things like FIFA inventing a peace prize for Donald Trump. Sarah, would you like to describe it, if people haven't seen the trophy and the medal, and then we can get on to how it's gone down in America?
It's quite freaky.
So there it is, working. So this is a picture of it as it was, or a few pictures anyway, and you can see how tight it was in there. There's the new capacitors that I fitted. These little flat mica type capacitors, pretty much always okay. And this one, they certainly are. I tested a few of them, they were all okay. So you can see how tight this is in here with all this wiring, and how fiddly and awkward it was to change the valve bases. I'm not skillful enough to film me doing that, but take it from me that I worked my way through this and changed all 4 valve bases. Now, if I go on to the next one, there's another picture, another view, slightly different, and again that one there. So yeah, very tight, very awkward. Components with little short leads right up against them. A very fiddly job, but it's done. Now I've been through the alignment procedure as shown in the manual, and it's now working fine. But yeah, there's plenty of videos out there showing you how to do alignments, and again, it's difficult for me to film it because the thing was assembled back in its case, and it's awkward and fiddly getting in there with tuning rods, and all you've just seen was the back of my head and my hands, I think, trying to do that. So I haven't filmed that either, but I just want to take you through the process really, and then summarise what was done. Now, when you're replacing things like this and you've got a tag, maybe something like this, and you've got all sorts of components wrapped in there, and another one over here maybe, and maybe something else going this way, and they're often like that. What I tend to do is get a desoldering tool. I still use the plunger types, I haven't got one of the powered ones. Get as much solder off as I can, and then you have to remember that this valve base you're actually throwing it away. So there's no need to worry about getting these that are all wrapped round and round out of here. All you've got to do is take your snippers and cut it off there and there, so you just got this U-shaped piece, and then pull all these off up that way. Just pull them all off, and then you can sort them out and straighten them out, and it makes the whole process a lot easier. So yeah, it didn't take too long in the end, but very much it was just a case of getting the old wires off, getting the old valve bases out. The screws were quite tight, but at least they were screwed and not riveted, which was great. And fitted the new ones in, and it looks pretty much as it did before, but with new valve bases in there. And as I say, I had to do the realignment again as well. But that really brings me up to date on it, that it is now working. You do get a tiny bit of mains hum, but most of the noise you hear is actually pick up from all the gubbins in here, all the electronics, switch mode power supplies such as this one. They all affect it. So once you get it right and it's sensitive enough, it brings in all the noise. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll probably laminate this full page of both parts and keep the other diagrams, which are just blow-ups of this really, 2 pages, and the drawings I did, the power supplies and that. I'll just put them in the envelope for this radio and put them with the rest of my manuals and schematics. Now, the only thing remaining really is to see if I could clean it at all. You might see there's a patch here which is slightly cleaner. But there's something about this is it just looks grubby. And I don't want to be too vicious with it because it's almost just paper, almost. It's very thin, it's worn down inside even, it's a bit worn there. I wouldn't want to recover it, I want to keep it original. So, yeah, it'd be nice if I could clean it up a bit. Any ideas on that would be welcome, but I find that showing people cleaning things isn't much fun unless it's really showing something new, teaching something about how to clean this. And if I find a magic bullet for cleaning this, then I'll certainly pass that on. But other than that, yeah, I'm going to try and clean it up a bit and get rid of some of that. But I don't want to wear through it or anything. So pretty much concludes this project. There may be another video, but I'm fairly sure there won't be. As I say, unless I find some really great way of cleaning this that I hadn't thought of before. I did clean the handle. I took the handle out altogether and cleaned this part of it. These are corroded. So, yeah, if you were really doing a big restore job, you'd probably send those off, get them chromed and all that. But, yeah, for me, this is fine. I'm happy with this. It's kept the patina and it's working, and it's working well. So what more can we ask, eh? So if you have any ideas about cleaning this, let me know below. But other than that, we'll close this one. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.
Sing a happy song together, and we'll all be a happy family.